Good morning. As we gather here to grieve the loss and celebrate the short life of late Reverend Austin Dinakar Perumalla, we swing between two realities. Now, on the one hand, we reminisce our cherished memories of Austin. As the Bible says, the memory of the righteous is a blessing. On the other hand, we ponder the reality of the brevity of our own lives and therefore try to apply wisdom to investing properly in the one life that God has given us. The grief is real, particularly for Austin's immediate family, his wife Glory, his sons Jason and Justin, his mother, my Chinnamma, and his sister and my sister Vanaja, and to their families and to all of us. Now, amidst the reality of this grief which sustained us in the past 1 year, is the hope that we have. The empty tomb of Jesus has given us and the immediate family the grace and strength to cope with the empty chair at the dining table during Christmas and Easter celebrations, or the family's birthdays and anniversaries in the past year. The reality of the risen Jesus seated at the right hand of the throne of God, along with all of the saints who have gone before us, including Austin, is that we will see him again in eternity. And that gives us hope. Now, as the oldest son of the Perumalla clan, my memories of Austin began on March 19th, 1976, as I waited outside the delivery room with my Chinaina, Austin's father, awaiting the birth of Austin in the wee hours of March 20th. Now, that was the first time I pulled an all-nighter. Now, my dad and Austin's dad are brothers, and in fact, my Chinaina lived with us until he got married. So our two families naturally were very close. And after my Chinaina's homegoing in 1980, my Chinnamma, Vanaja, who was 10 years at that time, and Austin, who was 4 years, moved in with my parents. And so both Vanaja and Austin grew up in our home more like our siblings rather than our cousins. Now, as we watched Austin grow up, we were amused at his inquisitive mind. From an early age, Austin entertained with his musical talents. Now we all laughed at his impromptu practical jokes and quick wittedness rather. And yes, at times we were irritated by his mischievous pranks. But somehow Austin had the knack to get away with it because of the incredible winsomeness that he had. Now, although I left India when Austin was just 4 years old, I had close relationship with Austin and Vanaja during our regular visits to India. My children, my nieces, my nephews, they bonded with Austin because of his ability to connect with and relate to younger generation, even though they were growing up in another part of the world. And he used to have fun with them. He engaged them in a one of a kind Hyderabadi cuisine and showing them some of the landmarks. In fact, my son's fondest memories of Austin Uncle was Austin Uncle taking him to a pawn shop in Chapel Road and introducing Rufus to his first taste to pawn. The day Austin passed away last year, we had a family Zoom, and we had individuals from Canada and US, all of our Perumalla clan, and almost everyone had a unique, funny story of Uncle Austin or Austin Mama or Austin Chinaina. Now, my connections with Austin deepened in the past 6 years as I had taken early retirement as a professor at the University of Toronto and entered into full-time ministry as an ordained pastor. Austin also had taken a similar path, and he excitedly shared about God's stories that were being weaved into the tapestry of his individual life as well as his ministry. In fact, even the last week of Austin's life on earth, we were communicating via WhatsApp on some of the ministry related issue. Although we miss Austin very much, we have a real and dependable hope that we will see him again and we will be able, together with him and all of the saints, worship God in heaven. And I'm grateful for the strength that God has given my Chinnamma, uh, Glory, Justin, and Jason, and Vanaja and her family to cope with Austin's homegoing. No, God has been true to his promise as he has walked with us through the valley, as we walked through the valley of shadow of death this past year. We have felt the tangible, everlasting hand of Jesus undergirding us and overarching over us with his unfailing love. The author to Hebrews says, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, and Austin is one of those who's part of that cloud of witnesses. And the author to Hebrews says, as we are surrounded by this cloud of witnesses, let us throw aside everything that hinders us, every sin that so easily entangles us, and let us run the race that is set before us with perseverance, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross, the scorning and its shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. And we know that Austin has joined those great cloud of witnesses in worshiping Jesus. And our trust and our prayer is that we will meet Austin, although we have been separated for a short period of time. And my prayer and blessing for my Chinama and for Glory and Jason and Justin, Vanaja and their family is that God would continue to comfort them, strengthen with them, walk with them, bless them. And I am very grateful to the family that is in India and the church family at CSI Wesley Church Ramkot who are coming alongside of my family. God bless you, and may you be strengthened even as I am strengthened as I reflect on a life well lived. And may God enable us as our call comes, there will not be any regrets, there will not be any reserves, and there will not be any retreats that we would have to regret about. May God bless each of us. God bless you.